you want to write something with a small number of characters and a small number of locations, and make sure that the locations aren't like, you know, some location where you're going to need a bunch of extras, like, you know, wanting a scene to be at the UT football stadium or something like that, because then you're going to have to find, you know, 50,000 people to fill it up. Because we were relying on a lot of non-actors. In fact, everyone in the movie except myself is a non-actor. It's really the local mayor, it's really the local sheriff, it's really the local doctor, and so on. I didn't know exactly what they would say. I would put them in environments and I would talk to them about where I wanted the scene to go and what the beats of the scene were. But I didn't want to put words in their mouth because they're not actors, and in my experience, when you do that, things don't really work too well.
It was easiest if there was like a loose outline, but not like really tightly scripted dialogue, and so that we were free to like talk with our natural voices, but also sort of structured enough that we weren't just totally rambling, that we had some kind of like good idea for what the scene would be.
We didn't really come up with a story at all. Like, I think we had an idea for what the story was going to be before we started, but that turned out to not even like vaguely resemble the final story that we came up with.
And when we shot Hannah Takes the Stairs, there was no lights. We had one China ball, which we used like twice or 3 times. Never any lights. There was just one boom. We didn't use any clip mics. And we never spent more than 2 seconds setting up. It's like people sit on a couch, cameras pointed at them, and we start.
It's not about spending a lot of time setting up a shot and lighting and things like that, but just kind of creating an environment that feels as much normal as possible, and then letting people play themselves as much as possible and really just talk or not talk, or, you know, do whatever feels right in that moment.
We shot it in Minnesota, and we all lived in New York. So most of the money was transportation and lodging and food. We had a 4-person crew, me and 3 other people, and no one was paid. It was all kind of my buddies helping me out. There was a very small... I used to edit karaoke videos and corporate videos for many years in New York, and my boss in New York, a really great guy named Rick, basically funded the film and made the production company that did these videos the production company of the film. You know, he gave us his credit card and said, you know, try to bring something back that makes sense and is funny and works. Like some people do, where they shoot it like on nights and weekends spread throughout an entire year. Because that's another method that people have. It's kind of like shoot it as you go rather than putting everything together into one set period of time, which is what we did with Dear Pillow. We shot for 25 days spread throughout the month of March. Just keeping it simple is all that was really important, you know, like
the bare minimum, the bare essentials.
Right. Yeah, getting rid of everything that's not essential. Like anytime that you think like, do I really need this? It means you don't need it. Like even if you think for a second like, do I really need this person doing this, or do I really need this piece of equipment? It means you definitely don't need it if you even question it, you know?
Yeah.
Because you would never question like, should I be breathing right now? You know, like, if you ever question if you need something, you definitely don't need it.
I was editing the footage at night, the stuff that we had shot that day. I was using those scenes that I was cutting to really inform the stuff that we were doing the next day and to help everybody figure out the story and things like that. So that whole process behind that movie was based on the ability to use those tools and to be working with that footage so quickly. We edited the thing for 18 months, you know, that's a long time. For a narrative film, you know, largely narrative film, it's just a long time. And a lot of that time was not fun, you know, it was just like, get it done, you know, get it done. And you also have to support yourself. I was living in New York where the standard of living is worse. You have to work more to kind of keep up, and it was tough, you know, it was really unfun for good stretches of the time. From April to, I think we really stopped editing in October, so it was a pretty long 6-month period or so. With this one, we found a distributor on the festival circuit. It was the movie played in about 30 festivals, and this is probably festival 25 or 20 that it found a distributor. It's at the Newport International Film Festival. It's not a huge festival, but it's a nice regional festival.
But it wasn't about the festival or anything. It was just about my mindset. It came a time where I'm not a salesman, and I'm not really good at. A lot of filmmakers say that, and I think it's true. I don't think they're lying, but I think too many filmmakers, including myself, certainly myself at one point, use it as an excuse. And I think it's tough to justify that. To be an independent filmmaker, especially a very low-budget independent filmmaker right now, I think you need to be a salesman as part of your package. You need to. No one's going to do it for you. There's too much material out there for someone to just find your work.
That's why I think if the movie's free, then there won't be that expectation. So that's why I think that they should all be free to see on the internet. Yeah. Which is basically the only direction it could possibly go. There's not going to be any. I'd be really shocked to see an actually working regulatory way for distribution using the internet ever. It's just not in the inherent nature of what the internet is. You can't regulate it. You can't locate it or own it or control it at all.
I don't really I don't think some people are more creative than other people. I don't really think it works that way.
You buy things that you want, and if you want to make a movie, then you can just spend a couple $1,000s and make one.
I think it takes just drive more than anything else. I don't think you have to be a genius to make a low-budget movie, or even to make a good low-budget movie. It's not all about smarts. I think it's more than anything with low-budget filmmaking. It is a Herculean effort, and I think it just takes a lot of strength and drive, really focused drive to do it, and youth helps,